Well, hi there folks. Remember this? This was my little number 14 cheap foamy chuck glider conversion, which I built very light with the intention of trying to get into FPV flying of radio controlled planes. Well, as you can see, it's now become a pusher. Now, if you've been a follower of my channel for any length of time, you'll know that this quest for FPV has been going on for a while through various guises. I had some success with FPV flying my big old drone a few years back, good signal and getting quite decent range. But as far as FPV with an aircraft goes, I've been getting signal breakup, even just 10-20 metres. Ground tests have been very good, getting a good couple of 100 metres. But as I say, no good once I actually tried it with an aircraft. Anyway, slowly I'm figuring out why I'm getting such poor results. Plus, I had a breakthrough in a recent flight, which has been the best clue of all, as you'll see later in the video. So what have I learned? First off, I was using a Y lead to power the aircraft and power my video transmitter, and that can be a great source of interference. The other thing that's a problem, apparently, is you can get a lot of interference from the speed controller. So my next set of tests look like this. Video transmitter and its own separate battery as far away as possible from the speed controller and the LiPo powering the brushless motor, but still didn't have great success with that. Anyway, I came up with another idea for a test and used my good old Bixler here in an effort to isolate even further away from the speed controller the video transmitter and camera. But during the course of those tests, I also had a lucky break that made me realise I might have been looking at the problem the wrong way in the first place. Now, for some reason, this time when I went up to the flying strip, not only did I take my little tiny monitor, I took this bit of kit here, which I built originally when I was flying that big old drone. Good sized monitor, but with its own separate receiver. I'll explain to you in a bit the lucky break I had and the good fortune in taking this. But first, let's take a look at how I set this up for my latest tests. So what I did was, I had this elasticated strap kicking around from my paragliding, which usually goes around your leg with an instrument on it, but modified it to go on here, like so. The idea being, it's away from the speed controller, which is here, and the LiPo and so on. Modified it to go on there, and with a little 450 milliamp 2S and the help of a few rubber bands, and this transmitter with its own little camera, E-Team, whatever it is, I'll put it on the screen. With that mounted on there, again, popsicle sticks, rubber bands, and I did some more tests. Now, my usual test method over the past few months has been mounting this little receiver here on my transmitter so that I can control the aircraft and also just glance down and see what kind of range I'm getting or whether I'm getting a good image. And as I said, it's been pretty poor. Been lucky if I could get 10 or 20 metres. Now this time, for some reason, I actually fired this one up and put it on the grass near my feet. Just sat there. So I'm flying, watching my screen. Oh, obviously this hasn't worked. I've got break up. And then I glanced down at the grass and had a really lovely clear image on this. And so it suddenly occurred to me, and why didn't I think of it before, although I have done a bit more reading about transmission, that with this mounted so close to my RC plane controller, the antenna there and an antenna there, apparently you can get harmonics from the 2.4 gig receiver that might even go into the 5.8 gig video band. And anyway, let's face it, it's ridiculously close. So I'm kind of hoping that I may have found the major cause of my video interference problems. Of course, if I'd been brave enough to try it with goggles, the video receiver would have been well away from the transmitter. And I actually built this little box here in foam board with the idea of doing that, because this comes apart once you've taken that little shade off. This slips in here like so, and I've got a little Fresnel screen there. I actually put this together a couple of years ago, and I made a video actually explaining the construction of this. I'll link it at the end. But it did make a very cheap pair of FPV goggles. But getting back to my new construction, first question, why not use the Bixler? Well, my intention was to try and build a slow fly FPV plane and the Bixler was pretty quick, so I returned to my number 14, which was built very light and to be a slow fly plane. Why a pusher? Well, big advantage, you don't have a prop in your field of view. Construction was quite straightforward. Chop the nose off. I already had a spare nose kicking around. Made the fin out of foam board after making a cardboard template. Motor is a 1104. I didn't think there was room for a 5030 prop, the recommended one, so I cut down a 5045 3-blade to make it into a smaller prop. And of course, being a pusher, it meant the speed controller was further away from the brushless motor that would have been in the nose. Video module I showed you at the beginning has its own power from a 2S450 LiPo, so that's pretty much all there was to it. First thing I needed to do, of course, was find out if my pusher conversion would work, and lucky enough we had a little break in the weather, so I had a chance to nip down to the local sports field for a quick test flight, and this is how it went. No, it won't take off, will it? No. I'll try it again. Come on now. No. Not enough grunt. I think it needs more. I try it that way. Nope. No. Is that nose heavy? Okay, so you've seen the video. The question is it lack of thrust? Is it thrust angle? Difficult question, really. I think I got the thrust angle about right, very similar to the thrust angle on a Bixler, but I think I'm going to extend that, put the 5040 prop on. It wasn't a fast flyer before, but I might even have to go to my favourite motor, which is the 1086. But anyway, watch this space, something's going to happen. And a short while later, here we are. Thrust angle changed a bit, so that it's pretty much coming down to centre of gravity point here. I can now get the 5030 on, okay, and it definitely felt like more thrust when I ran it across the carpet. And as far as centre of gravity goes, with this little 3S about here, it's not far out with the video module that I'm planning to use. Centre of gravity is about 55 mil, so it's about there. So that's worked out okay. I didn't really explain what I'd done with the electrics in this, but the tiny little FS2A receiver is there, and the speed controller is way back here, so well out of the way, hopefully, and won't cause any interference on the video transmitter just here. And as I said, that's got its own LiPo tucked in there, which is a 450 milliamp 3S. Though, as I said, problem had been nothing to do with the fact that the speed controller was near the video transmitter. It may well be because I mounted my video receiver right on top of my radio control transmitter. So obviously I need to do some more testing with it mounted further away. Obviously, first thing I'm going to do is test fly this again with the change in thrust angle. I've got to confess, I've built probably, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 planes, and I've never had much success with a pusher. But who knows, this might be the change in that circumstance as well. One other little thing that I'd like to mention before winding this up, you may have noticed I've had a couple of different cameras on this. A camera like this obviously doesn't have a capability to record. This other one here is one of the old Inov cameras that I got when I used to be testing cameras. Records good quality 1080. Obviously that's got its own transmitter there. Likewise will have its own battery for the transmitter, and the camera is self-powered. That does record video, so that gives you FPV plus at the same time recording the flight, as does this little keychain cam, which was another freebie that I got in those good old camera reviewing days. So I've got some alternatives there. The other advantage, of course, is even if I'm not flying FPV with this, I can mount one of these on and just fly and record some video while I'm actually flying it visual line of sight. So that's why I've used different cameras on this. But I'll stop waffling on. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and if you want to see that next test flight and perhaps at last a successful video test, why not hit the old subscribe button there? And while you're at it, why not check out some of the other stuff on my channel. Loads of these Lidl glider conversions. 14 or 15 of the big Lidl conversions I've done, from singles to twins to EDFs, all kinds, and 5 of the little tiny ones, including singles, twins, 4 motors, biplanes, you name it, I've done it. All on my channel. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll catch you all again soon. In the meantime, I'll leave you with one of my favourite Lidl conversions. This is 2 very cheap little foamy chuck gliders converted into a lovely biplane. And it flies really well, as you'll see in the video clip here. Bye for now.